Hello everyone, welcome to One Finance, and in this video we're going to cover the top performing bond funds as of third quarter 2020. So here are the basic features of bond funds: medium risk, medium potential returns, recommended for moderate investors, and ideal investment horizons are 1 to 3 years for intermediate bond funds, 3 to 5 years for medium-term bond funds, and 5 years and up for long-term bond funds. So let's jump to peso currency. Here we're looking at the yield curve for the peso bond funds. If you're going to look at here, our 10-year government bond as of October 1 is trading around 2.95% yield, and which is actually higher compared to its 1-month yield. So our peso bond funds ranking, on top we have SB peso bond around 13.71%. Next, we have Union Bank Philippine tax exempt fixed income at 12.64%. ABF Philippines bond or Philippine bond index, we have 12%. Odyssey Peso bond fund around 11.42%. And BPI fixed income portfolio at 10.97%. So what if you have 100,000 and you invested in peso bond funds in a span of 1 year? For SP peso bond fund, you could have gained 13,710. For Union Bank tax exempt fixed income, that's around 12,640 gains. For ABF Philippine Bond Index, that's around 12,000. And for Odyssey, 11,420. And for BPI fixed income portfolio, that's around 10,970 pesos. So let's try to look at the disclosure of SB Peso Bond Fund. It's classified as a long-term bond fund, so we expect that the duration is also high. And the minimum investment is only 10,000. Additional, it's 5,000. This is very surprising because even though it's long-term bond fund, here if you're going to look at, there's no holding period. Trust fee is around 0.0846%. So here we have the objective of the fund to achieve long-term growth, and the underlying assets are usually medium to long-term fixed income. And then here we have the recommendation for moderate risk tolerance or moderate investors, and investment horizon is at least a year. So here you're looking at the performance of the fund for 2 years. The green line is actually the benchmark, and the blue line is actually the SB Peso Bond Fund outperforming the benchmark. Try to look at that gap here. And volatility for the past year, it's around 5.24%. The weighted average duration, it's 3.93%. So here we have higher duration compared to our money market funds. It's around 4 years here for SB Peso Bond Fund. So what's inside the fund here? You're looking at almost 67% government securities. We have corporate bonds at around 6%, cash equivalents around 27%. So our top holdings here, we have the top 4 are actually government securities. And if you're going to look at here, the FXTN 23 and 17, they're actually maturing 2031 and 2039 respectively. So the rest are actually corporate bonds. And then jumping to our dollar currency, we have here first our benchmark, the 10-year US government yield at 0.701 as of October 1, which is actually higher than its 1-month and 6-month value, 0.67 and 0.60% respectively. So here for our dollar bond funds, you're looking at our top performing fund. We have the Metro Dollar Asian at around 5.54%. Next, we have the SB Dollar at 5.10%. BPI Invest on the third place, that's around 4.84%. Rizal Dollar 4.13%. And lastly, we have the Odyssey Philippine dollar bond at around 3.56%. So what if you have $10,000 and then you invested in dollar bond funds for a span of 1 year? Now the Metro Dollar Asian would have given you $554, and then for SB dollar that's around 510. For BPI Invest, that's 484. For Rizal, that's 413. And for Odyssey Philippine dollar, that's around $356 as your gains. So let's try to look at the disclosure of Metro Dollar Asian. It's actually classified as a long-term bond fund. Minimum investment is only $500 and additional is 100. Now take note of the 7 calendar days holding period. Trust fee is around 0.08%. So what's the objective of the fund? Income generation and capital appreciation, investment grade fixed income securities, and with a maximum weighted average duration of 8 years. Now this is actually pretty long compared to the peso a while ago, which is around 3 to 4 years. Now, this is actually recommended to aggressive profile investors because it's actually, having a long duration and with the objective of capital appreciation over the long term, investment horizon is at least 5 years. So here you're looking at the performance of the fund way back 2017. So it's a 3-year comparison. The blue line is actually the performance of the fund, and the orange line is actually the benchmark. So way back 2017, 2018, the fund was actually underperforming, but early 2019 up to 2020, it's actually outperforming the benchmark. So here the weighted average duration is 6.31, or let's say 6 or 7 years. And volatility for the past 1 year is around 8.9, almost 9%. So what's inside the fund? We have here government securities, 77%. And if you're going to look at here, most of them are actually ROPs or Republic of the Philippine sovereign bond. And corporate bond with 5 to 7 years maturity is around 5% allocation. So here are our sources. So that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you learned something. Please do like the video, and if you want others to understand, kindly share this video. And if you need to know more, kindly subscribe so you won't miss any future videos that we're going to make. Thanks for dropping by.